There's something so elegant about the tradition of our people.
I couldn't agree more. That kind of elegance that transcends generations.
Indeed.
With a 3-day ceremony in Ondo State, children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren of the matriarch of the Okeowo family, Mama Beatrice Okeowo, celebrated her life and impact as she left an indelible mark in their lives before she passed on at the ripe age of 91.
Forever in the hearts of those whom she's left behind, the eternal journey of the matriarch of the Okeowo family, Mama Beatrice Okeowo ni Fagoroye, started with a service of songs at the event hall of her home church, St. Patrick's Anglican Church, Okeowo. The family and close relatives of Mama all assembled for the service dressed in matching attire known as the Ashoebi. The attire and their presence served as a significant representation of the respect and honor they bestowed on Mama while she was alive. Dressed in black ensemble, the choir led the congregation in the rendition of various hymns. The sermon for the day swiftly followed.
Àwọn sámọ̀ tó náà màmá ti pèsè ẹ̀ nípa ìwà wọn àti ìṣe wọn àti rí pé màmá wọn ti wàásù ara wọn. Mo rí màmá gẹ́gẹ́ bí olùfẹ́ ọkọ ẹ̀. Màmá fẹ́ràn bàbá púpọ̀ pọ̀. Nígbà tá a wà ń bí tí bàbá sì kì í gbà yẹn. Ìgbà yẹn nìyẹn máa ń mọ ìyàwó rere lọ́dọ̀ ọkọ wọn. Ní gbogbo àsìkò tí bàbá fi sick, kò sẹ́ni tó máa dé ọ̀dọ̀ bàbá tó máa mọ̀ pé bàbá sick. Anything belongs to God, Mama was very thorough. She was a thorough woman. When it comes to things of God, I'm very, very faithful.
Speaking in the Yoruba language from a place of gratitude, close relatives of Mama shared testimonies of her positive impact on their lives, laying emphasis on her fervent Christian faith, her love for her children, and her disciplinary approach towards them.
Nígbà tí àǹtí wa wà láyé, ohun kan tí mo rí tó jẹ́ pé èmi ni wọ́n ṣe sí ni pé wọ́n pè mí pé mo gbọ́dọ̀ kàwé sí ìwé mi, pé ó jẹ́ dandan àwọn nìkan kọ́ ló máa jẹ́ obìnrin tó máa kàwé láàrin ọmọ bàbá wa. And glory be to God today. Mo gbọ́ràn sí nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe.
Mọ́mì jẹ́ obìnrin tó jẹ́ pé obìnrin akíkanjú. Mọ́mì fẹ́ràn gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ dọ́gbadọ́gba. Mọ́mì ò lọ fẹ́ràn ọmọ kan yàtọ̀ sí kan. Mọ́mì make sure pé gbogbo wa kàwé. Mọ́mì kúrò nílẹ̀ olújì ṣùgbọ́n mọ́mì ò fi ilẹ̀ olújì sílẹ̀. Mọ́mì bọ́n ṣe wà lọ́wọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ń wo ilé tí wọ́n fi sílẹ̀. Bí gbogbo wa ṣe jẹ́ bá ṣe jẹ́ ọ̀wọ̀ tí mọ́mì fi wá mọ ọ̀wọ̀ wọ́n fi gbogbo wa mọ ilẹ̀ olújì pátápátá. Mọ́mì mọ Ọlọ́run wọ́n dẹ̀ fi wá mọ Ọlọ́run.
Mommy was at peace with herself and with others. Tẹ́ bá rí nǹkan tí mọ́mì ṣe sílẹ̀ onígi ilé wọn tóbìnrin kọ́ sí ìlú ẹ̀. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ wo ló lọ ń fẹ̀yàn lọ́wọ́ ọ̀dá lọ fẹ̀yàn léṣe àtàkọ́lé sí ìlú tiẹ̀. Mọ́mì ṣe ilé wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣe dáadáa. When she was living, she was a passionate educator.
I attended St. Patrick's Primary School here. Mommy then inspector ngba ẹ̀. So teacher kan punish me, wọ́n ní kí n kúnlẹ̀. Mo wá rí mọ́tò mọ́mì tó ń bọ̀. Ó wá ní kí n dìde. Ó wá yarí. Ọlọ́run mú ẹ. Nígbà tí mọ́mì wá park, mo ṣáà bọ̀ mo ń dúró kí mọ́mì kan yarí fún kan kí fún. Wọ́n bá gba ẹgbàá. Ó bá jẹ ẹgbàá 10. Nígbà tí mo wá dé tí mo tún àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi pé mọ́mì máa nà mí, oníṣẹ́ kan máa bá tíṣà yẹn sọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n á ní ṣe bó ṣe gbé ilé ètò mọ́ pẹ́ gbá ló máa jẹ ni. That is my mother. Thank you.
Following the successful completion of the service of songs was the funeral service, leading into the entrance of the church, were the energetic pallbearers dancing to the sound of the drums. The atmosphere is solemn inside the church, as the service started with the processional hymn, Behind the procession of the priests were the pallbearers who made their entrance conveying the remains of Mama. All dressed in brown and purple, shades of the traditional fabric, children and close relatives of Mama recite the first hymn. The sermon was delivered by the Bishop of our Diocese Anglican Communion, the Right Reverend Stephen Fagbemi. During his service, the cleric emphasized that Madame Okeowo served humanity according to God's purpose. He urges the family and the congregation as well to emulate the legacies she left behind.
We have come to bury a woman with unique history. She served God in her generation. Ó sin ìran rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run. And that is the testimony that we have about this woman. She was a dutiful wife, a dedicated mother who served God and people in her own generation. And having served God dutifully in her career, she became the first woman to become treasurer and warden of this church. Is that not important? She made history. The first woman to attain that post in this church. And therefore, she became one of the makers of this church. Whenever the history of this church is to be written, her name will be written in gold.
Celebrating a life well lived, children and close relatives of Mama are joined by the congregation for the Thanksgiving. At the end of the service, the choristers rendered a sonorous special number dedicated to Mama, bidding her a sonically pleasant farewell. Children of Mama Beatrice Okeowo, friends and parishioners gathered round as the energetic pallbearers brought forth her remains. Final rites were paid at her soon-to-be gravesite, interred within the church premises. The colorful space with the understated beautiful decor served as the reception for guests. Electrifying performances from the musical band as well as the Owo indigenous musical group supplied melodious tunes for guests and lightened up the atmosphere as soon as they stepped into the space. Evidently in a mood for Thanksgiving, Mama's children, one after the other, took over the dance floor.
What I miss most about her is her humor. She's very funny. Even when you do something wrong, even when you do something wrong, and she wants to like punish you, she will see the funny part of it. I miss her humor.
She's a very strong woman. She's a very straightforward woman. She's a woman of integrity. She knows what, she will tell you what is right and what is wrong.
It brought us together as children. No favorism. Treat us as equal. Treated us as equal, and it was a good teacher, a mentor.
What I became is because of Mama. Very, very tough, disciplinarian. And the loving side, when you did something wrong, she'll call you in and talk to you about it.
Mommy lived a very impactful life. She lived a very full, long life. She touched so many people. She left good legacy. She lived really, really well.
Mommy was strict, and she's a stickler for rules. She will not bend anything for you, no matter who you are. So a lot of people know her as a very strict person. She was a kind woman, not easily provoked, but she was a good disciplinarian.
She was an epitome of integrity, discipline, focus, and she directed all humans who were around her to aspire for greatness.
When I was a kid, it wasn't, I was a little bit terrified of her because she had a strong hand, very disciplined, but as I grew older, she began to soften and, we had a good relationship.
Mama Beatrice Olarewaju Okeowo ní Fagoroye was born on 11th of March 1933 in Ileoluji, Ondo State, to late Chief John Fagoroye and late Madam Eunice Omotola Fagoroye. She attended St. Peter's Anglican Primary School from 1943 to 1949. She had her secondary education at Ondo Anglican Modern School from 1950 to 1951. For her grade 3, she attended St. Mary's Teachers College, Owo, from 1953 to 1954 and obtained her grade 2 certificate at the same college in 1958. In 1959, Mama Okeowo got married to her late husband, Michael Olabode Okeowo, in Ileoluji. The marriage was blessed with 5 children. She bagged her national certificate in education in English and fine arts with an all-round distinction at the Adeyemi College of Education, Ondo, in 1972. She would later work as a teacher in various schools situated in southwestern Nigeria, including schools in Owo, Ileoluji, Osogbo, Ibadan, and Ilesha. She became an inspector of education in 1972 and retired as a senior education officer in 1987 after serving for 35 years. She was the first female treasurer and people's warden of St. Patrick's Anglican Church, Ijebu-Owo, where she served meritoriously for many years. Sponsored by the Ministry of Education, Mama was sent on various in-service training and courses both within and outside Nigeria. Of note is her journey to Sydney, the then capital city of Australia, in 1980. Her first in-service course took place in Jos, capital of Plateau State, Nigeria, in 1975, where she visited important historical places mixed with the indigenes and was taught the rudimentary of their language. On the 10th of November 2024, at the ripe age of 91, she passed on. She is survived by her 5 children, many grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. The matriarch lived a principled life, one that enabled her to leave legacies of honesty and good purpose behind. Farewell to a mother to most. May the soul of Mama Beatrice Olarewaju Okeowo ní Fagoroye rest in eternal peace.
Farewells aren't easy at all, especially to the ones we love. We roll down the curtains on this as we've come to the end of today's show. Thank you so much for watching.
Remember, you can watch this episode and past editions on our YouTube channel. I am Kenny. Akinwumi.
And I am Ewa Oluwa Ogunbodede.
Bye for now.